What's up, beautiful Aquarius gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie. So happy to have all the Aquarians out there with me for your November monthly tarot reading. These are going to be a majority of messages regarding your career, money, finances, anything that wants to come through on or around that subject. At the very tail end, I will throw in some messages about love, relationships, romance. That will be time stamped down below, assuming I remember to do so if you want to hop right to love. Other than that, my general spiel. Welcome. Happy to have you. Also, come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind because this reading is general, going out to hundreds, if not thousands of YouTubers. Not everything I say will be your message, so please come into that with realistic expectations. It is my goal, my aim, my intention that pieces and parts of this will likely resonate for a majority of my Aquarius gang out there. But don't be offended if it's not your message this time. It won't always be, okay? That being said, I hope lots and lots of it motivates you, empowers you, inspires you, gives you something that resonates, that confirms things that you're thinking or feeling. Let's have fun with this too, right? You know, it's always good to not take everything in life so seriously, but also to use tarot to, you know, help you out when you're feeling a little bit lost. So that's it. Those are my general rules. You are always in the driver's seat. Never give up your power to a tarot reading or a tarot reader. And come with a positive vibe, right? Everything else is down below in the description box for you, including the decks I'm using here today, as well as my social media channels. My goodness, Aquarius, it's coming in hot. We're coming in hot. There's something good, potentially a relationship. Yeah, everything else in the box below for you, including the decks I'm using here today, as well as my social media channels. I am the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook, Instagram.com. Check all that out if you're interested. If you want to book a reading with me, just shoot me an email, very informal. Other than that, we're going to hop in. Let's get a few more shuffles. You are always in the driver's seat. You are responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's do it. Let's get some good messages. Career, money, finances, jobs, payouts, loans, inheritance, whatever wants to come through. For my Aquarian gang out there, let's get a few more cards and we're going to hop in. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. You're making it through, or you're pushing through some sort of obstacle. It's been a financial obstacle or a financial pit, a financial debt. You're working your way out of it. There's victory there. If times have been tough, even if your body's been going through a state of healing, if you had like a major surgery or something like that, you're coming out and it's like you're making it through the finish line. Sometimes I see this as like, you know, at the end of a marathon, you know, your chest bursts through that like victory ribbon, like I made it to the end. That's what this feels like, especially if money has been tight. You may have money coming in. You may finally get a payout you're waiting for. Could also indicate that there's reason to celebrate. There's a milestone because of potentially a job offer or something is offered to you that gets you out of this, I'm going to say hardship. It's in reverse, so we're waving bye-bye to that because this is coming in. So that's a very positive message. Yeah, not all is lost. I know a lot of you are really struggling with whatever this is. Mentally, it's your like, I can't wake up and do this every day. Like, I can't do this anymore. This to me says you're on the home stretch. If you work your way through it, if you really put your heart and soul into whatever this is, especially an opportunity that you know could potentially get you out of a tricky situation, you may have gone halfway in and now you're like, oh my gosh, well, what if it doesn't get better? What if all this work is for nothing? What if it doesn't change? It will. It's not for nothing. There's absolutely something very positive at minimum to celebrate at the end of this. This may even have to do with a partnership. It could be your husband, your wife, your romantic partner, or it could be a business collaborator. This is the 1111, and I mean, almost always it's shown with two people, and you do have a few cards indicating collaboration, a counterpart, a good fit, a good match together. Oh my gosh, too many cards. Let's get one more. I did see 3 of Cups. Yeah, all right. The universe is like, just take them. All right, here we go. So bottom of your deck, new communications, new victories, speech, the power of your voice, political activism, liberating yourself, freeing your voice, speaking for those who can't speak for themselves, helping. I'm getting like justice and, you know, humanitarian type stuff. Classic Aquarius, am I right? I'm just kidding. All right. Tell me more about this hardship that Aquarius is trying to get themselves out of. You guys may have recently moved into a house or to a property and it's like a money pit. It's like every time you fix something, something else breaks. Again, there's a stroke of good luck regarding this issue. And again, it might be your body recuperating or healing. I never do medical readings. I'm just saying that if you guys have had some major surgery or something's major happening with your health and you feel like you're on the mend, that's what's important. Universe is going to help you get there. You have two very positive cards. This may be, again, something to do with land or property. And yeah, the Eight of Swords is the mental prison. It's being stuck in a head place that is clouded by negative or pessimistic thoughts. They're not necessarily true, but you've started to take them on as a truth, and it's enabling you or disabling you, really, where, again, it becomes your prison, but it's of your thoughts. Some of you may feel like you're having to be flexible on some sort of moral grounds or some sort of standards or values or belief you put into your work, the integrity behind your work. The fact that it says she's not me, it's like you've become someone you don't recognize anymore, or your business collaborator. Something about them has changed and you're starting to question, again, the integrity of the relationship. This could be a customer or a client of yours. What's the deal here? What can I tell my Aquarius? Some of you are going to decide to cut yourself free from that partnership, even if it means closing out the deal and it's unfinished. For you, it's like a moral standpoint. It's like I'm not going to allow myself to be treated like crap from someone who, like, I don't even need the business. I'll get it somewhere else. It could potentially swing to a degree where I would say, get off your high horse. But for most of you, I actually do think you're doing you're making this decision with integrity, because if it has to do with a person, something about them has really rubbed you the wrong way and you feel like you're being, I heard force fed, but maybe to do it this way, to perform this, to represent our company this way. And there's like such a discrepancy in what you stand for versus what the company does. There's something about where they don't merge anymore. That's the best I can sort of describe it. There's a differentiation I'm hearing. Yeah, it's like you don't feel like you can represent these people anymore because of a moral thing, or it could even be like a religious or a political standpoint. You feel like you would have to pretend to be someone you're not. And I mean, my Aquarians are not going to hear about that, right? Yeah. You are not my fake and phony signs, right? Yeah. It might be a Leo you're dealing with. Some of you have a child who's really struggling with confidence, with comfortably sharing their voice. It's like they've chosen to be silent. For some of you, they may actually have some sort of learning disability or something about the way they communicate. It may be slowed or delayed, or I hope that makes sense. And I'm not really sure why it's coming up in your reading, but I'm just noting that. If your child is having trouble in school, there might be how do you want to say it? There might be a special need. They may need to enhance or develop a skill and work a little bit harder than the other kids, or again, to have more customized learning for themselves. I guess it's just coming up as a heads up. If you have a child struggling, they might need a little extra help. They need a little extra boost or some extra courses, some extra, whatever it is. So the whole, sticking firm to your grounds, sticking firm to your beliefs, whether they are spiritual, political, religious, more or less it's saying, what's in your heart, and I think you have faith that your process will open doors for you, and you're absolutely right. So it's almost like don't be afraid to leave behind a project or a deal where you feel like your hands are tied. I'm really getting someone is putting you in a very uncomfortable position to act or perform or do something a certain way. And I think you've tried it. I think you've tested the waters, but there's something about it where you're like, I cannot stomach doing this anymore. You seem repulsed by having to deal with this anymore. And so a lot of you are going to walk away on your moral grounds, on your moral standards, however you want to say that. And to be honest, I think it makes sense. It feels like that's sort of the trajectory of where the universe is giving you confirmation. So if that makes sense, then trust your gut always. Above all else, trust your intuition. Excuse me. My throat is scratchy. I apologize. Let me take a swig of my water here. All right, tell me about this. So there's a new partnership or a new collaboration coming in that could span generations. Some of you may be working in a field that actually has to do with memorializing things. So it's almost like I'm sort of getting like scrapbooks and photo albums. Or maybe you work for some sort of app that preserves photos like Shutterfly or something like that. Or you may be dealing with antiques or... what is that show where they go around and they go through people's junk and look for antiques? My dad always watches that show. I don't know what it's called, but you might be doing something like that. You may be traveling to find kind of, or archivists. Some of you might be archivists. It's like preserving long-term memories. Ancestry.com, anything to do with legacy and like generational items or people or yearbooks. I'm seeing something like that. It could just be a sideline project you're doing for fun. Maybe you're learning more about your family's history. But yeah, there's an excitement and a fascination with learning about even cultures. You may be studying ancient cultures or ancient religion, history. History is playing a really large role here. So again, I'm assuming that has something to do with someone's job out there. I don't know what else to say other than it looks lucrative and it looks like you would have a lot of fun doing it. It would bring you a lot of happiness. There's also a key collaborator here. Why are they Two of Swords, though? What is the decision? Some of you may need to make a difficult decision to let someone go from your company or the opposite, to bring on someone new. But there's a period of deliberation where you really have to think about it. You have to look at the resumes or the data, the statistics of what the income of what this person has brought in. Or, yeah, a lot of you are looking at resumes, but you have... possibly a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces that's going to be joining your team. And I think they're coming at it with purity, with love in their heart. This person is a natural healer. They have the gift of like a healing energy, a healing presence. And yeah, for you, Aquarius, it seems like you guys would be very simpatico. You guys would work well together. You would mesh. You would vibe well. Yeah, this person seems like they're coming in with their cup, Knight of Cups, right? And not only that, in terms of financial money flow, cups can be indicative of how much your bank account is full, right? So this person is bringing with them bankable skills and bankable talents. But one of you is on the fence about this collaboration. Again, this is a collaboration that seems like it would be kick-ass. It's probably new for most of you anyway. Or if you already are dealing with a water sign, this might be kind of a similar issue of what you were going through in another company or with another person, where you had to stand on your moral grounds of, I'm not going to do this anymore because I just can't. Like, this doesn't represent, or this doesn't... What is a good word for it? I know you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but I'm struggling to get the exact wording out. And it's driving me nuts. I can't represent you in the way that you want me to. It goes against my beliefs, what I stand for, right? That's you in some situation. You may have had issues with this person in a similar circumstance. I don't think it is as extreme as what you experience, but if you're the boss, if you're the head honcho, or if you are the supervisor, you may have someone who's working under you, but every now and then they rebel. They go off and do their own thing and don't ask permission, or they take on projects without okaying it by the boss or by a certain person. There's something about this person where ever so often you feel like there's a standoff between you guys and they challenge you. Or again, they go and do things without your permission. This could also be your child, by the way. I keep getting, in any facet of life, these issues may resonate for you. But I do think that this could work. In fact, I think this person is positively going to contribute to the business, and they're going to allow more opportunities and projects to funnel in through you or to you guys. This is very similar to the Gemini reading. There's a collaboration here it's one for the history books. It could span the generations. You guys make magic together, especially if this is an artistic collaboration. So if you're working in entertainment of any kind or anything creative, whether you're a painter or a potter or musicians or actors or singers or dancers, and maybe this is more like business agent talent. Whatever it is, there's something between you guys that like it's just right. But with that, there are creative differences that sometimes cause a little bit of struggle or strife. So I think it's just giving you a heads up. I don't know. I'm sort of being called to say I would not abandon ship on this entirely, though, because this is what's going on. Ten of Pentacles is pretty good. It's almost like marrying yourself to the idea that this has longevity. And again, with the rainbow creativity as well as harmony, I sort of associate this with Sagittarius as well, even though it is technically a Pisces and a water type card. Inclusivity with the rainbow, right? Attracting and appealing to many types of people, many walks of life, many cultures, many religions, groups of people. My 11th house, Aquarians, right? So there's something very positive in this for you. Yeah, I feel like this person did or said something. They stepped outside the bounds that were clearly defined in the contract, or I'm just going to say they broke the rules. They're a bit of a wild card. This person may gamble or take risks, and what I'm getting is they may have taken a risk one time and you ended up having to pay the price for it. It could have been financial, maybe. I'm not getting that they stole money. It's not that severe. I don't really have the details or the specifics, but they took the power into their own hands and made some sort of executive decision, and it did impact the both of you, and they didn't ask you, and I think that really pissed you off. And I know for some of you, that does seem very extreme. If you have very set boundaries on, no, if you do something and you don't ask me, that's it, you're done. And so maybe this whole spread is to get you to see things in a new light and to understand not everything is so black and white. Sometimes we do need to offer forgiveness. Sometimes we do need to look at someone's track record and understand, they slipped up, they flubbed up, but overall, their performance has been very good, and I do like them. We get along, and they do good things for the business. For some of you, it's really encouraging you to extend a gesture like a peace offering. I almost said apology, and if that's the case, I almost feel like it would be coming from the other person, but maybe this is you, Aquarius. And I mean, that would kind of make sense to me too, because Aquarians can have a very independent, rebellious streak in them, right? Uranus energy, right? So it's kind of like the unknown. It's the random explosions. It's the unexpected, right? And so maybe this is you. Even if that's the case, though, I do think this thing needs to be mended or repaired, and it is a partnership. Maybe it's not a one-to-one partnership, but for most of you it is, especially involving anything that's to do with photography or filmmaking, science and technology. This is kind of like a Mercurial Gemini card, so anything to do with writing, communication, public speaking, again, technology, transportation, things of that sort. Even just kind of daily office work. Yes, there's someone here who it's like they're looking to shake things up and have fun, but I think they do have good intentions. This is not like the evil villain. This is not like your evil nemesis that's trying to, piss away the company money, or they're not trying to. They made a mistake, and I think, they overstepped their bounds. This is repairable. I don't know why this is coming through. This is, it's funny. So these career readings have been more about relationships than they have the actual money. Sorry. It's just the way it is. Ooh. Sorry about that. All right, so I am going to ask more specifics on jobs, but yeah, a lot of this is about repairing relationships. Some of you need to go see a marriage counselor. Maybe you work with your spouse, in which case that's why the assets it's like a shared pot, and so you may feel some type of way when someone starts digging in the pot and not asking you, because half of it is your money. Some of you are going to have some wealth inherited from a grandfather or a very masculine kind of paternal figure. And it doesn't even have to be someone from your family. Yeah, there could be, I don't know what the situation would be, but a masculine person offers to help you with financial debt or offers you some lump sum of money or a loan. It could even be a gift. But for some of you, it's going to help get you out of financial debt. And I'll be honest, it could just be offering you a new position in a company or a new job, and the price tag is good where you're finally able to escape some sort of debt, something that's been weighing on you heavily. There's a newfound freedom. Yeah, freedom is a key word. You're seeking freedom from the mundane or from being told to do things a certain way, but you have a coworker who does the same thing. And I don't know if you're their supervisor. That's sort of what I get from this, but it's almost like a taste of your own medicine, or if you're going to hold people to certain standards, you have to hold yourself to them, because that's really what this is. It's like two different messages, but they are sort of blended in that you hate being told to do things a certain way, so you're going to do it this way. And that's fine. Again, I'm not hating on that. Only the same situation transpires in a new setting or with a new person where you find yourself having to be the heavy. I'm just saying, right? Like pot calling the kettle black. There's sort of a repetition of what's happening, only it's with different characters. It's with different players. I just heard playwright. Some of you are probably writing a play or a story or something about a film. Or for some of you, it is quite literally saying this is a repetitive pattern that follows you in every single workplace. So in which case, you're needed to examine why you're always the little rebel of the group. Why do you always feel like you need to shake things up and mix it up? And maybe it's just because it's in your nature, right? You know, if we can make things better, why wouldn't we? And that's a beautiful attitude, but I guess don't waste that energy in a place where it's very traditional, where it's very strict, where it's very rigid, where those ideas are not welcomed. This is like, we're going to do it the hard way because this is the way we've always done it. It's almost like Saturnian Saturn energy, which is sort of one of your rulers as well. But again, that opposite Saturn Uranus, right? It's like constriction versus sort of like expansion, or however you want to say, destruction, really. It seems like your efforts are being wasted at certain jobs where there isn't a lot of give and take. There's a very set of rules and instructions. And so again, pick your player. I don't know which you are in this, but there's a repetitive pattern of someone who wants to do things their own way. They're very headstrong. Only it could lead to their demise of them being punished, or them being, and I say punished, some sort of repercussion of having to do the grunt work or the crappy part of the job, because essentially they can't be trusted to go out and represent the company because they keep doing or saying the wrong thing. And I want to be clear, they are doing it with goodness in their heart, but they're not asking permission to change the rules. They're just changing them, and they don't have the leadership, the command to do that. Like, they're not in charge of setting the rules. I hope that makes sense. Gosh, Aquarius, why is this coming through? Anyway, I'm going to stray away from this because it is what it is. That's just the message. Not a lot of pentacles here, only it's consistent, it's steady. Again, this keeps happening over and over again. So you might be on different sides of this situation, but this is something that keeps repeating, and I think you're going to see more of it in November. Strategy. Take those beautiful skills you have. And for most of you, I'm just naturally inclined to say you may be the one who has a little bit of rebellion in you, or a desire to be independent and also to do things in a more liberal, or not necessarily liberal, but humanitarian type way. You have all these great qualities, but let's put it into, I'm almost hearing like a machine, a company. Let's put it into a place where it's well received. A lot of you, it's like you need to be more strategic and more picky and choosy about the jobs you enter into. And I know we don't always have the luxury of doing that, but it's saying you need to start doing that. What is it that you want to do in this world, in this lifetime that you have, right? And maybe we have multiple lifetimes, but here on Earth in the 3D right now. And the thing is, you already realize that. I think a lot of times you feel like you're the outsider, or you feel like your ideas aren't merging with the people in charge, with the powers that be. You're always trying to kind of wiggle your way in, and I think sometimes you succeed, but it's not done in a graceful manner. You just kind of charge, and sometimes that works out to your benefit, but I'm getting recently a lot of times it hasn't. There needs to be more strategy here. Some of you need to change your resume, and I'm almost getting, in a more metaphoric way, changing your strategy about your career path, about how you want to make these changes in the world, because maybe you're meant to do it on your own. Maybe you're not meant to fall in line with a company. Maybe you're meant to be an independent filmmaker or an independent contractor, or whatever it is. It is something about getting your voice heard for a lot of you. Making changes, looking back and realizing what we didn't do right. I think a lot of you are trying to fix it or make up for lost time. Yeah, there's an urgency. There's a very forcefulness to your personality. Again, it doesn't have to mean always, but in the month of November, it's like, let's just get in there and do it. Like, enough bullshit. Like, let's go in and fix it. The thing is that you have very bankable ideas. There's value behind what you're saying. These are, even though you come in very forceful, you have thought these things through. These are solid ideas, right? These are bankable ideas, but know your audience. You may be preaching to the, I heard preaching to the choir, but preaching to the wrong people. You may be preaching to people who can't make these changes, right? Maybe you need to go to the higher ups. Maybe you need to take a risk and knock on your boss's door and be like, listen, let me lay out our plan. Let me lay out our financial plan for the next 3 years because I'm going to make you money. So sit down and listen. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that's too harsh of an approach. Maybe that's what got you in trouble in the first place. But ultimately, if you're being met with obstacles, it doesn't mean to stop or quit. It means find a new audience. Find someone who does appreciate what you have to offer. Because the thing is, even though you may come off as a little bit blunt or harsh, behind what you're saying is actually this very beautiful vision for the future, almost idealistic. And that might be why people don't get it. People are like, well, we could never do that. Like, what are you talking about? And you're like, no, we can. Let me tell you about it. This is important. Your skills, your talents, whatever you're preaching, it's very valuable. You just haven't found the right outlet where it really sticks the landing. So keep looking and make a strategy. I'm almost getting make a list of people or communities, groups you could reach out to, even like social media platforms. We need to do it in a less scattershot way of just banging on the doors and hoping the boss is in there or hoping the neighbors are home. It's like, this concept is so great, but we need to strategize more. We need to plan it out more so that it can have a very profound and deep effect and garner the attention that it's really worth. Because right now it's like you're talking to, sort of getting wallflowers, people who just, I don't mean to insult or offend, if this makes sense about your spouse or your friends or whoever, but you're dealing with people who they see things very black and white. They're like, well, almost like robotic, well, this is my job and this is all I do. And it's like, they don't want to hear what's new. They don't want to accept what is inevitable, what is coming in the future. They are not, what is the word? They're not visionaries like you, Aquarius. They're not forward-thinking people. They're very just what's in front of me right now. And you are forward-thinking, right? You are a cosmic earth child, right? You are the star, right? You see things and feel things intuitively coming in. And so it's naturally in your character, you know what we should do? We should start doing this, or we should. And those ideas are great, only you're preaching to people who they're just a little bit, I'm trying to use a gentle word, but they're not as evolved as you on a mental plane. That's how I would put it. So you need to find a new audience, but you need to keep thinking and doing and feeling all the same things, but you need to find new outlets for it. All right, new messages. There's a promotion coming after a layoff, or if you've been furloughed or experienced if your money flow has stopped, right? Nights bring change and movement specifically regarding money. There's despair, right? I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Again, everybody has free will. If you don't like this message, don't take it. There could have been a stop in your money. There will be reason to celebrate because either you're going to be called back from furlough, or this is saying there's a new opportunity where you're going to be brought on board and hired. It may specifically be a team of 3, possibly a team of women. It doesn't have to be, but this is reason to celebrate. This is a very social networking type card. This can be going out for coffee, celebrating promotions, or just welcome to the team. And a financial spread, again, cups can be indicative of money flow and what is lucrative. Yeah, if you start going down one avenue and you get shut down, don't worry, because there's something in your surrounding areas that you're going to be welcomed into. There are adjacent possibilities. That is very important. So don't get all sad and down and out. If one opportunity kind of puts up the block and it doesn't seem to be allowing you entrance, this is going to come to your rescue. So let's find out more about that. This is very likely an opportunity that involves travel. It may even involve working with the military or someone who used to serve in the military. Some of you are going to be pursuing degrees in a medical field or any sort of healing. It could be your traditional doctor, nurse, something in a hospital, or it could be a spiritual healer, somebody like a light worker, an earth angel, somebody who puts goodness on this earth. Again, that's your own card. Possibly something working with patients who have psychological issues, helping, Wounded Warrior Project, or victims of like PTSD or something of the sort. You may be traveling to poverty-stricken nations or countries, or helping people to rebuild their lives. Some of you are going to be helping to build homes. So I'm sort of getting in like in little villages. Again, huge humanitarian type vibes here. Some of you are just quite literally going to be building homes. You're going to be involved in construction and big city buildings. There's also going to be a callback from a job that you may have declined or turned down. Some of you are going to choose to go after it. This could also be a job that you started once upon a time years ago, or you got the college degree and decided not to use it. You may return to something of the past that you've always sort of, I'm going to say it's like you carried around the burden of not pursuing it more because, again, there was an obstacle. Maybe you just got the degree and they weren't hiring in that field and you were like, ugh, like I'll just, whatever, I'm going to go the retail route because I know I can do, whatever it is. You may be returning to something of the past that you were very passionate about, and it's almost like you were always kicking yourself that you didn't try harder or pursue it more. Everything comes around again. This is not a lost cause. This is not a lost opportunity. You can return back to this thing that you were very passionate about. For some of you, it may actually involve returning back to work with someone you used to work with, and it's possible that maybe there was a little bit of confrontation between the two of you. There may be, I don't know if it's trust issues, but yeah, something may have transpired with a former coworker. But even if that's the case, it's almost like they call you to be like, hey, we're hiring. Do you want to come work for us, or do you need a job? And in which case, I think a lot of you are going to choose to pursue it. It might be something spiritual. It might be something creative, especially with music, getting the band back together, man. It could be something like that. Or working with the elements, something about fire. So maybe it's a firefighter or something, but I'm actually literally seeing fire. So I don't know I don't know what that would be. A career that involves fire. You're going to have to take the lead on that. I don't know what that is. I'm seeing fire. It's on fire. Let's see. All right, a few more for career and finances and we'll hop into love. Yeah, I see you working with people who are hurt or wounded or healing. That could be physically. That could be, maybe you're working within the fire unit, victims of who have fire burns or something like that. At people's bedside, though, too, you may also be like a chaplain or offering them some sort of like religious or spiritual services. Some of you are doing energy healing on the body, like Reiki work and possibly like crystal healing. And I think you're teaching that. You're introducing people to the idea of different religion or spirituality or, again, history. Some of you are going to be like history professors or history teachers or archivists. This is so random. I'm actually getting digging deep in the earth, specifically in the desert. I'm laughing because I just have to tell you, I'm seeing the beginning of The Exorcist where they're excavating. It's in like, what, I don't even know where that takes place. It's almost like Mesopotamia or something like that. I don't know where that takes place. But anyway, they find that little like demon statue, right? And I'm not necessarily saying, that per se, but I like finding old and ancient artifacts. And again, there's a great amount of history tied to them. So you may be researching them, or museum curation, putting something in a museum or something like that. And it could be artwork, right? It could be paintings, but yeah, something about history and preservation. Yeah, did that take place like in Iraq or I don't even know where that movie takes place, but anyway. Yeah, family history books. Some of you are going through old scrapbooks and seeing people dressed in lots of 70s attire. Some of you are making a film that takes place in the 70s, and you may even be the costumer on it. Something about 70s wardrobe, 70s, and maybe you're using that as inspiration for your album cover, something about like kind of 70s looking type stuff. There's money all over that, so keep going with it. Don't forget to be silly. Don't take everything so serious, Aquarius. That message wants to be seen and heard. Humor is sometimes the best medicine, especially if you're dealing with any sort of patients or someone who's in the process of healing and going through a lot in their life. Obviously, I'm sympathetic to, larger issues, but never be afraid to introduce a little bit of humor if you feel like it will land, if you feel like the scenario is appropriate and calls for it. Humor can be the best medicine. A lot of you will be involved in animal therapy too. Yeah, I see you doing something at like a bedside, like a hospital bedside, or visiting people's homes and offering them. It could be one-to-one lessons. Again, it could be like homeschooling, especially history, or art, painting, finger painting, doing something kind of tactile. It could even be with clay. Or again, healing at people's bedsides, just bringing them comfort via spirituality or art. I don't know what that is, but yeah, going into homes or doing something at people's bedside and healing them. You may have very untraditional methods of healing, but there's something very unique to what you offer. And so again, it's a business that could very much thrive. So hold on, what is this message? Some of you are thinking about moving, and money is a major factor in it, especially to start your music career. Some of you, it's like you're on the brink of deciding if you want to move, or it might be if it's time to move out from your partner, if there's a lot of chaos in the current home you're in. It's like you're wanting to spread your wings, but money is tight. Some of you are going to sell your own line of jewelry or your own makeup line, cosmetics. And if it's not your product specifically, you may be involved in working on it, whether you're doing the marketing or the website or something about that, real estate. So tell me about this moving thing. It's sort of saying to me, you got to save your money a little bit more. Yeah, but it's in the stars, it's in the cards, it's in the future for you. Some of you are going to visit the mountains, or you're going to move to some place that's very cold. I'm seeing like cold, snowy mountains. And maybe that's just a vacation you're taking, but I see you traveling to like cold, frigid areas or snowy mountains, Aquarius. Maybe you're just going skiing, but it seems like it would be fun. Yeah, it's like you need a getaway. It feels very stifled where you are. Maybe it's at your workplace. Maybe it's at your residence. Maybe you're living under the same roof as a bunch of people, your family, your roommates. It's like you just got to get away. And especially if you are in a relationship, like a cozy little couples getaway, even if it's just for the weekend, it would do you good. It would be good for your mental health. All right. Anything else about money? Yeah. Anything else about money I need to tell Aquarius? New contracts with the King of Pentacles. Again, the Eight of Swords. You've had this card 3 times. Stop giving power to the negative or false beliefs that you're carrying around. It's not necessarily real. It's not necessarily there, so don't manifest it. What you think, you are potentially manifesting behind the scenes, so make sure you're switching your thoughts to a more positive way of thinking, a more glass half full vibe. You lose nothing by being optimistic and hopeful, rather than kind of being stuck in this, oh my gosh, what if this happens, like fear-based type stuff. It's not real yet, so don't get caught up in it. Free yourself from those negative or mental thoughts. Because, it's like you're anticipating or fearing something, but it's just the opposite. There's something really beautiful that's coming out of this situation. Happy tears. There's happy tears here. And I asked specifically about money. The only person in the way right now is you. And I don't mean that as a personal attack on you. I'm just being very blunt. You have excellent cards when I ask about money. King of Pentacles is the king of money. He has plenty to spare. He has plenty to give away. He's probably hiring. And then Justice right next to it. Again, contracts, any sort of government position. It's air energy like you, Aquarius. So it's a Libra card, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Any career involving communications, writing, sometimes science or technology, or anything in the educational or public kind of school system. These are all very, very good cards for that. And Ace of Cups can be a new opportunity, money flow. So if you're interviewing for a job, or if you're not, maybe you should be. But there's going to be something that makes you happy. Some of you, it's like a confidence thing. It's like you don't think you have the skills or talents or abilities to do it. That's where you need to channel your little rebellion and be like, I'm just going to apply anyway. Because something really beautiful could come out of it. You being a rebel is not the problem. It's just not landing with the right people. And maybe that's not you. Maybe you're reading or listening to this going, I'm not a rebel. I don't take risks. Well, maybe you should start. Everything in moderation, including moderation. But also, I'm sort of an advocate of know when you need to gun it in one direction over the other, right? It's great to take risks, but you need to take risks on the right things. And again, you got to trust your heart to know what those right things are. All right, let's talk about love. Love for my Aquarians. Let's switch decks. Tell me about love for my Aquarius. Aquarius in love or looking for love. Let's give them either confirmations or I am seeing keys. I'm hearing the title of that Death Cab album, Codes and Keys. Or is it Key? Yeah, Codes and Keys. Death Cab for Cutie. That's the name of an album. Keys I frequently associate with like the doors to spirituality, unlocking new doors to spirituality. So I'm thinking maybe Taurus or Cancer, the High Priestess and the High Priest, possibly something with Taurus or Cancer, or possibly marriage. It's almost like you've reached the new level in a relationship, so it's like you're unlocking the next door. Also, I can't mention the Doors and not think of my main man, Jim Morrison, Sagittarius. So you may have a Sagittarius interested in you. I am seeing the iconography of a key, so I don't know if that's a tattoo or it's symbolic of you moving into a new space, a new property. There's lots of keys. You might be getting a new car. Something about the key is very important regarding your relationship. It's also saying free yourself, right? The bird doesn't want to be trapped in the cage and being told to, if you love something, set it free. That old cliche thing to say. There's the Hierophant. We called it. There's the Hierophant. All right. Yeah, I see things moving and progressing towards marriage. Someone who you've already been building with for a while, if you believe in marriage, if you're looking for that. Certainly that's not everyone out there, but this seems like a contract of love, a commitment. And there may have even been times of struggle, having to go up that big case of stairs. It hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows, but it's almost like when you reflect and look at this, you see that things have really blossomed and grown between you, and there's been a positive outcome. There's been a positive result of all the work and hard labor you've put into this relationship, and it could even indicate pregnancy, right? The seeds are starting to grow, so that may involve a Taurus or a Libra. In fact, I have double confirmation on both. You have 2 cards of Taurus and 2 cards of Libra, so give me more. And it doesn't have to be. It can be any zodiac sign, but if that makes sense to you, why not? Yeah, there's definitely like a karmic relationship here. It feels like a twin flame success story, though, and not all of them are, right? Give me one more on that. Someone with very dark hair, very dark features, very beautiful. King of Swords, yeah, that's you. That's you contemplating, thinking about it. Damn, it looks good from the top. There's you at the snowy mountains again. Completely different deck. Can I still show you the other one? Where are the snowy mountains? Show me the snowy mountains. Oh. Completely different decks. I see you in like Alaska or somewhere where maybe it's just Michigan. I don't know. It's somewhere where it's very snowy and it's very cold. It's in the mountains. And again, that might not make sense now. It doesn't mean it won't make sense in 2 months from now. So just be open to it, right? All right, new messages in love. You could also be marrying another Aquarius, another King of Swords. That's a beautiful message. Love that. That has great vibes all over it. So, and I'm making such a point to say mountains that I associate with Capricorn. They're the mountain goat, right? The sea goat. All right, so there is a water sign trying to manifest you. Yeah, they are waiting for you to return to their life. It's like every day, you might be with them, but I don't know. I'm being called to say every day they thank God. They thank Source. They thank the universe that you're in their life. But I do think that you're either away and they're hoping you return safely. So you might be away on business or needing to take care of a family matter, a family issue. This could be your husband or wife or something of the sort. If it's not that, this is someone who you had an end with and they are all in. Like, even though there was an ending, it felt like they never wanted that ending. So they're still hoping that you come back. They're still hoping that you communicate. They write... I'm going to say there's a touch of obsession about you. I don't think you need to be fearful or worried, but this person thinks about you all the time. They're always looking you up on social media. They probably write in their journal or their diary about you. If this is like a, spiritualist, a witchy type vibe, it's like they're I don't know, maybe love spells. They may be trying to do something to manifest you back into their life because they see you as the one. If this does lean towards the point of obsession, I would say be careful because I think this person has a lot of growing to do themselves. And maybe that's why you decided to end it or whatever. Maybe the tower came in on this for a reason because this person needs to mature more. And it's almost like, I'm not saying this person is messy, like they have a messy life. But I do feel like this person may look to you as the answer to their problems. And that I sort of see as This person needs to be able to solve problems for themselves and not always rely on Aquarius to whatever, save the day, to provide the money, to get them out of the hole, to be their cheerleader, to give them that pep talk. Sure, that's great in any partnership. That's a bonus. That's amazing. But if this person has a lot of growing to do, it's almost like they need time to kind of sort that out for themselves a little bit. Because this does have a tower vibe to it. So I'm sensing the tower already happened, and this person, again, they are hoping and praying that you communicate and come back to them, because I do think they have huge amounts of love for you. So if you have huge amounts of love for them and the feeling is mutual, if you guys broke it off and you're longing for each other, there's no reason why this couldn't come back together. But I would say for both parties, I would ask you to question, why was there this breakup? What do you think the universe was trying to get you to see by having you guys go separate ways and maybe take some time on your own to learn things on your own individual spiritual paths? Let's throw something on that. Justice. Yeah. This is as it should be. It is, this is part of a karmic cycle. It is fair. There is truth behind the reasoning of why this tower happened. It was necessary. This tower, this breakup was meant to happen. So take advantage of the time apart. And should you, I'm just going to say it, Aquarius, for some reason, it feels like the power rests with you. Should you decide that you want to come back in this person's life, I think they would welcome you with open arms. That being said, if you more resonate with this person who's really trying to manifest a new beginning with that person you are head over heels with, especially if you have strong Pisces in your chart, right? Queen of Cups. What is the potential outcome? There might be a Libra involved in this somewhere. Or someone who has a child specific, well, it could be a son or a daughter. I was going to say specifically a son who is an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There will be healing here, I think. Two of Swords. It's delayed. I think you guys will speak again. I think you guys will blend energies again. There's potential for this to balance out, but yeah, it's like we're not quite there yet. Universe is still throwing you some obstacles. Two of Swords is avoidance or indecision, or just really needing to take time to like hit reset and focus on ourselves. Our internal introspection is sort of what Two of Swords is. And then Five of Cups in reverse. So Five of Cups is like, woe is me, all these cups have spilled and my life is a mess, but it's really not. This is about raising your vibration and trying to see something good that came out of a negative situation or a difficult situation. It's cleaning up the pieces and seeing not all is lost. So that's what I mean. This relationship could get off and running again, but not right now. It's delayed for a reason. So again, I think universe is asking you to go internal and understand why this tower happened, and have you done the spiritual work? When you put your best foot forward, universe rewards you for that. And I think that's possible. It's a card of Sagittarius, if that means anything to you, Aquarius. But yeah, right now, I don't see it happening in November, potentially in the future though, okay? Let's get one more message in love for my Aquarius gang out there. Knight of Cups and the Tower. So you have two of the exact same cards as the last one. So some of you may be entering that phase. There may be a breakup with your water sign. Yeah, there's definitely an ending. And again, this isn't everyone's message. Use your logic, use your common sense. But if you are going through it with your water sign, especially your Scorpio, you have two cards of Scorpio, and then this could be Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, or possibly an Aries. There's an ending here. There's a Tower and there's an ending. Again, it doesn't have to mean forever, but for right now, that is a very clear message. The love has stopped. It has come to a screeching halt. She is not on horseback. She is not riding in with love. She's saying, this is done. This is over. That's one message, guys. That's one message, okay? I'll even spin it in this direction. You may have a very magnetic connection with a Scorpio, but they've stopped messaging. The Scorpio is holding back. So even if it's not an ending entirely, the Scorpio is stopping to think. It's like they're stopping to take a drink of water and like contemplate, because they're not sure if they're all in with this love offer yet. They're simply not sure. So that's kind of a very, me trying to put a positive spin on what seems like kind of an ending, I gotta be honest. But all right, one last one. New deck. This one. Final message for Aquarius in love. Aquarius in love, please. And again, guys, you may be dealing with multiple Scorpios, so you need to fill in the blank here. If you are madly in love with a Scorpio and everything in your gut is telling you that they love you too, that might not be your message, okay? Just putting it out there, right? Okay. Self-love, focus, faith, and peace. Some of you are going to be pregnant. Look at that. Look at that belly. There's pregnancy with someone who's very zen and very spiritual. See, now this could also be a Scorpio or possibly a Gemini, a Taurus, a Libra. You guys are kick-ass because you both practice self-love. You both understand that, put on your oxygen mask before you help your partner. The reason this came together so in such a fluid ease, or there's like an ease to how this relationship gets off the ground, is because I think you both have experienced unequal relationships where either you were putting in way too much or your person was and it wasn't being reciprocated by you. I think a lot of you have had to spend some time either alone or finding yourself in relationships that made you recognize what it is you truly want and deserve. And you're at a point where, again, your values and what you will tolerate in a relationship, it's very well defined. You know what is acceptable and what is not, as does this person, and you meet each other halfway. It works together. Ego doesn't get in the way of this. There's a sense of, I'm hearing humble, but it's not like you have to check the ego. It's not that you have to make a lot of changes either. It's like there's something about you guys have very similar morals and values and standards, and they just work. It's just very beautiful. These cards are kick-ass. They look very nurturing and relaxing. Some of you are going to do a water birth or give birth in your home. You're going to hire like a doula or something like that. Or you might work as one. For a lot of you, there's a transformation, and this may not have come into you yet, but if this is yours, especially with a Gemini, I'm getting a couple cards of Gemini, maybe Sagittarius. It could be a Cancer. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm seeing. There's a transition that's happening in your life. And, we're in Scorpio season right now, soon to be in Sagittarius, where we're letting things die out if they don't serve us. If there's unnecessary baggage or people that we're carrying around in our life, we're bringing an end to those cycles and embracing new ones. And it feels like if this truly is new, this new cycle that comes in for you, there's soulmate energy here, and there's an ease. It's very beautiful. It's simple. And it's very, the touching of the body is very important for you guys. It's very sensual. That's what I would say. There's a lot of Taurus energy here. So, all right. The name Will or William, that could be someone's last name. Bill, Billy, William. You can make that feminine. Wilhelmina. I don't know. Anyway. All right, Aquarius, that's what I got for you. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let me know in those comments down below what resonates. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.